Into the Call Christina hotline, a call from condo owners in West Miami-Dade about a roofing contractor who was the subject of a previous Call Christina investigation.
And a day after investigative reporter Cristina Vasquez was on site asking questions, the board members and project manager company quit. Here's Christina's report.
We paid a lot of money for these roofs.
Last fall, homeowners at Eagle's Nest, a townhome condominium association in Coral Springs, told the Call Christina team the roofs replaced after Hurricane Wilma were already falling apart.
Supposed to last for 20 years. They basically lasted for 4.
They have seriously impacted other people's lives.
One of the contractors the association filed suit against was David B. Taylor. Over the phone, Taylor blamed the roof failures on Chinese nails. Now his name is surfacing again, this time at a West Miami-Dade condo complex.
It's the same people operating under a different name.
We received a call into the Call Christina hotline from a condo owner here at the beach club at Fontainebleau Park. The complaint, a concern that the process to get proposals from different companies to redo the roofs here was rigged. And that's when the Call Christina team began digging into the complaint. Here's what we know. 3 beach club board members received these 3 proposals for a more than $5 million job. The winning bid went to D&T General Contracting, run by David B. Taylor. The concern for some condo owners is that state records document associations between Taylor, who won the bid, and the 2 other companies that submitted bids.
The 2 companies that he competed with are companies that some way, somehow trace back to him.
Plus, just 2 months before Taylor submitted this bid to the beach club under the company name D&T General Contracting, the Florida Department of Financial Services told David Taylor's other company, Taylor Contracting and Roofing, to cease all business operations in the state of Florida. The final order in connection with a hefty fine owed to the state related to a workers' comp case, but narrowly applied to the employer name Taylor Contracting and Roofing.
He has a stop work order, everything in the state, and he's operating now again and placing a bid, and the authorities are letting him get away with this. Who are we going to trust?
Hi, Strauss. Cristina Vasquez, Local 10 News. Taylor's project manager, Jesus Strauss, didn't want to answer questions about the bidding process on camera.
If you want to talk to me, put the camera down.
But take a look at his shirt. Taylor is now working under yet another company name, this time Icon Contracting Services, where Taylor is a qualifier. A move his attorney says state regulators approved. You said first to talk in 5 minutes, and now you're going to lunch.
Give me 5 minutes.
Wait, is it lunch or 5 minutes?
I am lunch right now.
You know who else didn't want to answer a question? The man identified as the on-site property manager. The lunch now,
lady,
more
please,
important
please.
than all the people who live here that are very concerned about the way the process went down for the bids for the roofs.
Give me my time, please.
That was last Thursday. When we returned on Friday, a stunning turn of events.
After you left, there was a sign in the office door where it says that the office was temporarily closed.
Notices posted around the complex stating the property management company canceled its contract, and the association's 3 board members who oversaw the roofing proposal process resigned. And all of this breaking literally hours after we walked off the property yesterday.
Totally.
Some of the condo owners we spoke with say they want this project to stop and regulators to step in and investigate.
Really taking a look at this.
So that's what we want. We want an injunction until a right bidding process is done.
In a written statement, David B. Taylor's attorney says it is the obligation of the board of the beach club to control and conduct its own bidding process, not that of a vendor. The attorney who was retained by the board at the time of the bids tells Local 10 News he was not asked to, nor did he review the validity of the companies and did not make any recommendations to the board. Now, some condo owners there have expressed concern about the way those 3 board members who reviewed those proposals secured their positions in the first place. They allege voter fraud. Those claims are now subject of a Miami-Dade police forgery investigation. When we knocked on the doors of those board members to get their take, no one answered. In the newsroom, Cristina Vasquez, Local 10 News.